Well, welcome to another Reeling Back the Years on Fishing Tail Films, and this is episode 5. And as you can see by the intro and the thumbnail, I'm going to be chatting about, in this episode, about how I managed to win 2 Angling Times top 10 badges and the fish that I caught way back when to earn those badges, and they were classified as one of the top 10 catches in Britain for that week. Well, going back, the first one, these are the badges there. That's the Angling Times top 10 badges, and you probably were fortunate enough to win some yourself if you're as old as what I am. And I've still got them. I used to wear them on the side there on some of my early fishing excursions, as you will see in some of the photos. And a bit later they modified the badge to that, and I've never ever worn that badge. That looks brand new. And so let's chat about how I managed to win these 2 badges. And they were special days, I must admit, and I was very proud to win them. Well, the first trip was a trip that I actually chatted about on a video I uploaded on the Fishing Tail Films website on the 20th December last year, so not long before Christmas. So I don't want to repeat myself, but if you want to go back and watch that one. It's called Giant's Downfall, and I will explain how I caught a monster pike, and it weighed 26 pounds 6 ounces, and I've got a photo of it there. And I put a bait box so you could see roughly the size of its girth, because it was a fat old fish, as you would imagine, weighing in at 26.6, and on the back there I've got written on there 26 pounds 6 ounce pike, 1979. Now, I caught the fish on a very cold January morning at Waltham Abbey, and there was a school friend of mine, me dad, and obviously myself, and we went to fish the canal originally. It was frozen solid, and to cut a long story short, we then went over to the Lee Relief Channel, which was just a walk across the field, because it was moving quite fast, and therefore it didn't freeze up. So one of the reasons why we went there was that we kind of knew that maybe the canal was going to be frozen over, but we had a backup plan. And what a backup plan that turned out to be, when I caught, as I described in the video on the 20th of December, Giant's Downfall. It was a very, very special day, I must admit, and it took me 50 minutes to land the pike. And there was a couple of cutouts which I've still got from that day, one from the Angler's Mail and one from the Angling Times. And the headline there, as you can see, shock pike from fishless water. A lot of anglers, a lot of predator anglers have been moaning that there's not enough predator fish in there. And along I come that morning, and well, I put that to bed anyway. And this is, I'll read this to you. It goes, a monster 26 pound 6 ounce pike has been taken from the River Lea Relief Channel in Hertfordshire, a venue which many anglers claim hold very few fish. Russ Evans from Stratford, London, well, it was actually Forest Gate, landed the specimen after a 50-minute struggle on frail match tackle. The fish snapped up 2 maggots on a number 20 hook for just on just £2 line and came from peg 9 on the Waltham Abbey stretch. Thames Water bailiff officially weighed and witnessed the fish, one of the best from the water. And that was I think that one was from the Angler's Mail. And then this one from the Angling Times was Giant's Downfall. 17-year-old Russ Evans performed what could almost qualify as an angling miracle when he landed a 26-pound 6-ounce pike from the Lee Relief Channel at Waltham Abbey, Essex. Russ, from Forest Gate, London, was using a frail £2 line and a size 20 hook baited with 2 maggots, hoping for nothing more than a few roach. But instead he found himself battling with the big predator, which signals its intentions by pulling his rod out of the rest, and 50 minutes later ticked by as Russ struggled to hang on during violent dashes along the river. I wouldn't really call it violent dashes because I think it would have just snapped the line just like that. I don't think it even knew it had been hooked. I was just basically hanging on the other end, and it was just moving around very, very slowly, probably still feeding as it was going along. And then it wasn't towards the end when I started, I thought, because me arm had been like that for 50 minutes and I was getting numb, and I thought, well, I could be here for another hour, and I wasn't prepared to do that because I couldn't feel anything in my arm. And his luck and tackle held out, and he was able to steer the fish into the landing net. The pike was hooked in the bottom lip, and I think it was only the pressure of the fight that held it in place. As soon as I got it onto the bank, my hook fell out, said Russ. Well, that's true. It was actually sort of hooked in like the scissors, and as soon as we sort of laid it down onto the bank and then the line went slack, it just went pop, just popped out. I think if it had been hooked anywhere else, it probably would have just bitten through the line. So it was kind of an angling miracle. And a week or so later, because that was on the 17th of January 1979, and obviously I spoke to the Angling Times about it. Obviously that's where they got most of their write-up from. And as you can see there's a letter from the Angling Times, an EMAP national publication, dated 22nd of February 1979. I was living in Forest Gate at the time, and this is what it says. It said, "Dear Mr. Evans, congratulations, your catch has been judged by our panel to be one of the best in Britain over the past week or so, and you have qualified for membership of our exclusive Top 10 Club. I'm pleased therefore to enclose your Top 10 badge, and I hope very much that you will wear it as a pleasant reminder of a notable angling achievement. Best wishes, yours sincerely, Norman Wright," who was the news editor of the Angling Times way back in 1979. So there you go. That was it's a pity it didn't have like for your pike of £26 6 ounces, but a nice reminder, and I've always kept that in the original envelope that it turned up in the post. So that was my first encounter. In fact, I've actually got 2 badges. They must have forgotten that they'd sent me one out, and they actually pinged out another one. So I actually got two badges for that fish, and one for its head, one for its tail, because it was that big. It was a very, very big fish, I must admit. So the second badge I won, which was modified to a square patch as such. Like I say, I've never worn it. It says Angling Times Top 10 badge there, and there you go. Look, it does look absolutely brand new. It's in mint condition because I've kept it in the envelope again that it arrived in, and it's just sat there all those years. And I thought, well, I'll share that as an episode, a talking point for one of the Reeling Back the Years episodes. And the fish that I caught to get that was a Crucian, which is my favourite fish. It's £3 1 ounces, and it was a monster fish then, because I think probably the record, the Crucian record at the time, then would have been under £4, because this was back in July 1986, and this another letter that had come in. By now I was living in Plaistow, where I was born. Excuse me. And it says, "Dear Russ, I'm very pleased to be able to inform you that your big fish catch has just been judged as one of the best in Britain over the past few days. I hope the enclosed top 10 badge will act as a fond reminder of your fine achievement. Once again, many congratulations and all the very best with your fishing. Yours sincerely, Anthony R. Hawkswell," who then obviously was the news editor of the Angling Times. So there you go. And I caught that at a leisure sports water, Stamford. It was around Stamford-le-Oak Way in Essex. I used to living in East London. I used to fish a lot of Essex waters at the time, and tension Crucian. There was just so many of the waters contained tension Crucians, and it was brilliant. It was a really good sport. And there's another venue that I'll save it for another episode, where I caught so many big Crucians from another leisure sports water, again in Essex. I won't say too much now, but I caught a lot of Crucian, hell of a lot of Crucian from that water, and I think that probably deserves an episode all on its own. An amazing time I used to have on that water as well. So there you go. Very proud to have won them badges, and still keep them, of obviously pride and place in my angling memorabilia as such. And I thought I'd share that with you, and hopefully you've enjoyed that little chat about my Angling Times top 10 badges. And if you've liked the video, please give it a like, because that helps push the channel out there and push out the Reeling Back the Years episodes, because once again I've had some absolutely brilliant comments from you watching about your experiences, how some of the episodes have stirred memories of your days that you'd forgotten. You know, I've had a few comments, well, I'd forgotten all about fishing there, and then they've sort of explained their fishing sort of stories as well from that time, from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, 80s and 90s. And so it's brilliant, you know, it's absolutely brilliant to know that the episodes are connecting with other anglers out there and stirring up all these great memories of fishing way back when. Well, I'll see you again very soon on Reeling Back the Years, on Fishing Tale Films. In the meantime, take care, and the next time you go out fishing, now that spring is fast upon us, I hope you get your rod bent a few times. I'll see you again soon.